So after the Champions League comes La Liga. This is going to be a very intense La Liga week. We're going to have Liga, this game against Espanyol. Then on Wednesday we have Villarreal, and then next weekend we're traveling to Las Palmas. So it's going to be a very intense La Liga week. And it started with Espanyol.
Espanyol. Interestingly enough, unfortunately for Espanyol, they're catching us on our 15-game winning streak. We are just one behind from beating the record, which Barcelona holds, or not beating, tying.
It's 2010-2011 Guardiola's Barcelona.
Right, so if we can tie them and just look forward to continuing our winning streak. So unfortunately for Espanyol, sorry.
Unfortunately, we're going to come there hungry for the record. So let's talk about the lineup that we think we're going to see in Cornellá, which is the stadium of Espanyol, for those of you who don't know, in Barcelona. Kiko Casilla is probably the smallest, or no doubt about Kiko Casilla. Keylor is not ready. And then in the defense, I think we'll see pretty much the same that we saw against Sporting, changing Varane. So I think we're going to see Carvajal, Marcelo, Pepe and Ramos.
Pepe and Ramos. And let me just remind you guys that we're shooting this on Friday, so if our lineup isn't exactly correct, we don't have the information of players, that is why. Yes, I think that is the lineup we're going to see. Hopefully we can learn, or they've watched film and decided or realized what they did, what went wrong in the game against Sporting, because the first half defensively for me was not so great. But I think that this will be a different team that we're playing against, maybe not as much offensive threat as Sporting posed to us, and I think they'll do fine.
Yeah, I think for me the defense is the doubt to see if at one point Sergio Ramos is going to start rotating, and we might see Pepe and Varane, but we're going to go with Pepe and Ramos cautiously. In the midfield, I think we are going to see some new additions.
Right.
I think we're going to see Casemiro, Kroos and Modric, but I do think we're going to see James. I think James deserves, after a great performance, only for 18 minutes, but kind of like stating the fact that he's already ready, he's sharp, he's on edge, and when he's like that, it's just natural that he should play more minutes. And maybe this is a right game to start James.
Right.
How do you see it?
I totally agree. I think that this is going in line with what Zidane is trying to instill in the team, is that hard work and good play, you get rewarded for that. And James has shown us, he's made those statements in the summertime, this is where I want to be, I want to win this spot back, and he showed us that. He's come back. This Sporting match was incredible. That ball he whipped in from the left side was unbelievable. And I think it's time to reward his hard work, his dedication to this team, and what he brings to the team. The fans have been asking for James to come back, and I think it's time.
And I think it's time, and also especially if you think about Bale not being match fit.
Right.
It's important to say, like, he's not injured, it was a knock, but he had some pain after the game, and if it represents the slightest or the smallest amount of risk for Zidane, this is when having a big full squad is useful.
Right.
It's like you don't have to risk a player that you don't really need to win this game. I'm not saying that Bale doesn't bring things to the table that only Bale can bring.
Certainly does.
Yeah, but if he's not available, or just because he might be risky, it might be risky to play him, we don't need to play Bale. So I would like to see James, and same thing with Benzema and Morata. I think Benzema showed he's not match fit yet, and Morata is. So, I'd like to see a 4-4-2 and not being all that like stuck on the 4-3-3 if you don't have the people, necessary to play that.
Right.
And Cristiano and Morata, I think they pose a lot of danger for any defense. And then that 4-4-2 with Kroos, Casemiro, Modric, James, Cristiano and Morata.
Right, and I like that you said not being stuck in the 4-3-3, because I think really teams need to be formed, and systems need to be formed around the players that you have and the tools that we have. And we have lots of tools in our toolbox, and we need to be able to play them in their best positions to get the best out of those players. And I think playing James there in the 4-4-2 will suit him well. Playing Cristiano and Morata up top, with Morata playing more as a staying more in the center, and having Cristiano, moving around like he likes to do, a bit more freedom. I think that will suit them well as well. And Morata, having scored that very important goal in the Champions League, coming back with good sensations, we know when I watch him play, even though he still needs to work on his finishing, his finishing, you can tell that he really wants to score, that he's all in it for Real Madrid, and so I like that. I like that fight that he has inside him.
I do too, and to speak about Espanyol a little bit, well, they haven't beat us in 9 years.
And so long.
Yeah, last time they beat us was 2006, 2007, I think. The Quique Sanchez Flores team, I think they're still kind of getting to where Quique wants them to be, which I'm sure when they get there, it will be a more frightening team. But, they've started the league kind of tumbling. They lost the first game with Sevilla 6-4. That was a crazy game, one of the most beautiful games in the league so far. And then every game they started winning, and they allow the other team either to come back or to draw. So they haven't won yet.
They haven't won.
And I don't think they will. This will be the first time. I mean, they have important players, dangerous like Piatti. I like Piatti a lot. And Moreno, who scored already 3 goals, but I simply don't think they have the tools to beat us.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And like you said, those 2 players, if there will be danger coming from them, it'll come from those 2 players. Interesting enough, Diego Lopez will probably be in goal, coming from a Madridista.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we look at just the last 2 matches that we played against Espanyol, we murdered them. So I mean, if that's any sign, even though I know it's a new manager, any sign of what is to come, bad news for Espanyol.
Bad news for Espanyol. In the prediction, in the bad news section for Espanyol, I'm going to go. I don't want to go too crazy. I went very crazy the last 2 times with 6-0 and it didn't happen. So I'm going to go with a 3-0. I think it's 3-0.
I'm going to go a little crazy. I think that they have a problem in their defense. They get goals scored on them. So I'm going to go with maybe like a 5-1. I think they might get a goal. Just looking at how we get scored on.
All right, yeah, that's a good point. So, okay, 5-1. 3-0. Let us know, Galacticos, what you think is going to happen. Let us know what you think about this very beautiful preview. Give us a like and subscribe. Tell your friends we're here. This is the Calle del Arenal in the center of Madrid. Very beautiful. And we'll see you tomorrow.